And we're live. There we go. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Founders Chat Live. As always, your number one live show for the hottest business topics and even hotter takes. We've got amazing show lined up for you today. Crazy stuff happening in the last week or so. Spotify changing the monetization program. LinkedIn organic reach is collapsing. AI being crowned as the new king of anxiety attacks in workplace, and
Jesus.
YouTube is becoming again the new king of AI search and probably taking a monopoly on the search market again. Lots of other stuff as well. Stick around if you want to hear about it. If you guys want to, as always, if you want to join us on stage, just drop me a message on LinkedIn. I'll send you invite to the stage. So just put your hand up.
Please do join us. This isn't be a bad episode for
Yeah,
me. I am fighting on Saturday, so I'm currently cutting weight, so I do not have much energy. So if I am not my usual handsome, charismatic self, that is the reason. Also, I haven't had a haircut in weeks because I'm waiting for my pre-fight haircut. So I look like a mess and I am miserable. This will not be fun.
how much weight you have to cut?
It won't be bad in fairness because it's the fight's 72, not 70. So I'll only have to cut about 3 kilos in the sauna. No real stress. It's not difficult, but it's just the week. Like I'm at the point now where I can only drink 2 liters of water a day, and I've only got that much left that I'm allowed to drink. So I need to ration that for the rest of the day. And it's about 4 mouthfuls. So I don't really like speaking.
Are you taking in electrolytes?
Can't. It'll store water, so I'll have electrolytes after I weigh in on Friday.
Uh, Tough.
It's not as bad as I have to cut to 70 at least. Like cutting to 70, that is quite difficult. That is very, very stressful. But cutting to 72, I can do that with minimal effort when I'm not expected to be, appealing for the camera.
See, Mary says you look great. You have fabulous hair. Pretty boy
I
in the flesh.
Thank you, Mary. You are my typical target market.
All right. Do you want to pick a topic to start?
No, you can. I'll bounce
Me
off you for
or
the.
all of the
I'll
pressure?
I'll bounce off you for the start.
All of the pressure's on me. Whew. There's so much crazy stuff. I actually want to talk a bit later about Substack because I've been looking into Substack
Mm.
and I had no idea it's basically a full-on social network now. But
Yeah, I
we've got a
told you
new
that.
topic. Yeah, we got a new topic to talk about it. But
I've I've,
yeah,
li- I've literally had my best week in business in like 4 months this week as well. I closed a deal on Monday, a deal on Tuesday, and a deal yesterday was like a dream client. So I'm in a great mood. I've had my best financial week in like 3 months. It's fucking great. The joys of business. You have a dead season for like 6 weeks, but then all of a sudden you've just had an amazing 2 days. So I'm in
right.
a great mood.
Let's start with we've got number 6 on our list today.
Number 6. Let's have a look at this one.
LinkedIn organic reach
Oh yeah,
is
organic reach is
collapsing.
dead. It's so fucked. It's
We're typically talking, and this is funny. Actually, you're gonna have something to say about this.
I
So
will.
let me read through it, and you might realize why. According to multiple sources, organic reach on LinkedIn company pages specifically has dropped by over 60%, with pages now shown to only 1 to 5% of their followers. The platform has fundamentally shifted towards personal profiles over brand accounts, with personal profiles receiving up to 5 times more reach than company pages sharing identical content. So we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, right? About the companies activating employee voices and founder-led content rather than posting from the company page. But here's a hot take. Is LinkedIn quietly becoming pay-to-play? Because organic reach in general is just going down, and most small businesses just haven't noticed yet. Are we now
Organic reach
entering that time where you just gotta pay up or go away?
organic reach on LinkedIn has been like fucked. God, I swear so much when I'm cutting weight. Jesus Christ! I'll try and dial that back. Organic reach has been the word for effed for months. For months, bro. Like, there's two ways around it. You can either pay for paid ads, or you have to be very, very brutal with your existing, like, either followers on your company page or connections on your personal profile. You need to just delete anyone who's not specifically relevant to your business, because you're not going to get many impressions on your posts anyway. So you might as well maximize the odds of them being seen by someone super, super specifically relevant. I done that for a client. I got rid of anyone who wasn't in operations in one of his target companies because I just gutted about 500 connections who weren't in that criteria, so I could feasibly get inbound leads from his account. But that's me, someone who knows what they're doing in a niche sector and market. If you don't know what you're doing, or you're inexperienced on LinkedIn, organic content isn't worth playing. You either have to just back loads of money behind it, or pay someone who knows what they're doing in your niche market to market on LinkedIn for you, 100%.
So here's a thought with this saying that basically company pages are pretty much dead unless you start paying for the promotions.
Oh, they're not dead. Like, because I use obviously company pages of my clients. I call them the home-based strategy. But what I do is I repost company page content from personal pages with further like context. I use the company page via like press release style, very informative, very case study based. Then off the personal pages, I'd repost that with maybe a story, like a personal insight from that case study, or just a human languaged version of the super technical post. Because the way I look at marketing, especially like this year in B2B, you have a really high quality piece. So you put that high quality piece on the company page, but then repost it in multiple different directions from multiple executive profiles. And that's the only way, in my opinion, that I've managed to find and use and create that'll get your company page like organic growth on LinkedIn by using multiple exec accounts. But even then, that's piggybacking off the whole personal brand thing.
So that's interesting, because I've been doing it a bit of a different way, and I've seen some people do that as well, with actually posting on the founder's profile, on your personal profile, and then reposting to a company page.
I prefer it that way. But that also comes down to the industries I work in. I work in super technical, like engineering businesses. So it makes sense to, like, these guys have had 30 years running their company brand is super technical and press release. It obviously depends on your market. Like, Founders is a lot more of a sexier industry than what I work in. So I can imagine it working vice versa.
Here's another thought. So with that being in mind, what about all of those businesses? And we've talked about that one a few weeks ago. You remember the guy that just bought a bunch of big company pages that they used to advertise content and like boost people up.
Yeah.
That's gonna be tough for those now, isn't it? And I've seen it. Tell you, even the big creators with the massive company pages, yeah, they're not really getting reach, and we're talking pages with like 100,000 plus followers, and they'll have like 5 comments.
I'm low key happy that the whole like that guy selling company page engagement, that thing's kind of dying. Because I know it's not. I just don't think that's a model personally. It's just not
No,
something I would
it is.
personally do. It just isn't me.
Yeah, I
Like
never
I
agreed
also
with the
I also
strategy.
hate I also hate the engagement aspect of LinkedIn as well. Like, I don't mind scrolling for 10 minutes and leaving a few good comments on some good pieces of content. But I hate the fact if you want to like have 1,000 impressions, you need to comment on 50 posts.
Yeah, Maricel, organic reach requires you to really spend time on engaging, which is true. I said this to so many people. If you're not dropping if you're not dropping 50 comments a day, you're probably not gonna get much reach unless you post viral content. So what is viral content? It's anything that is heavily
Comment.
emotionally
Yeah.
based stuff. So you either gotta make people feel sorry, cry, or laugh.
Do you want to know
Um,
a really good little, I don't know if hack's the right word, but I've been doing really well for some
or piss
LinkedIn
people
clients.
off as well. Rage
Yeah.
baits has been growing so much this year on social media.
This strategy is built off what I said earlier, but I think the best way for B2B marketing right now is have a really high quality piece of content and milk it for all it's worth. So in this example, having a really high quality blog post on your website, repurpose that into like 2 or 3 LinkedIn articles, because LinkedIn articles are one of the most cited resources in AI search for one, and they massively help with LinkedIn SEO. So if someone searches on LinkedIn for something like, I don't know, for me it would be like trade show alternatives for for lead gen or customer acquisition. My LinkedIn articles come up straight away. Like, I think that's an super underrated technique in niche markets. It's been working well for clients as well, because you just repurpose something you've invested a lot of money in already in 2 or 3 LinkedIn articles. You're up in your LinkedIn
Yeah.
SEO, you're in your AI search SEO, and you're getting more out of something you invested a lot of time or money into. It's like a triple win.
From this week, we'll actually be reposting a summary of the show
Oh God.
on LinkedIn as well.
Did you hear that neck crack? That was good. Damn.
No.
But this honestly,
Uh,
I was gonna say I like LinkedIn more now than I did like most of last year. I think that's because I niched my business, so now I don't have to pay attention to all the bullshit. So that's not like a LinkedIn thing that deserves praise. It's more I deserve praise for cutting off the all the bullshit.
So we've got 2 more like discussion topics here, but I think you've answered them already. If personal profiles outperform company pages so much, should businesses abandon the company page entirely and invest in the personal brands instead? Like we said,
Again,
use
it depends on your target audience. Like if you're I don't know, a coach or something, it's better building your personal brand because you've got a face
personal.
to it and all that sort of stuff. But if you're someone in like industries that I work in, like energy and engineering, all those sort of things, it's so custom for 20 plus 30 years that there's a company brand, so you've got to incorporate that. Again, it depends on your specific target market.
Yeah, if your target, I think that's it. Like if your target audience is more like a corporate, larger companies, you're not selling to like solopreneurs and whatever. If you're selling to like large corporate, then having that professional image helps. It might not look pretty on stats, but it's just that
Mhm.
brand
Yeah.
brand image, isn't it? That's what helps. And the
But
second thing, like what
if
is
you're selling,
the
oh, sorry, continue. I was going to say if you're selling something like weird coaching, like then yeah, definitely just have a personal page. You don't need to hide behind that.
yeah. And the last thing is we mentioned this as well. What's the minimum viable LinkedIn strategy for small businesses, small business or startup with no budget for ads? For
Oh,
me,
that's a
I
good
say still
question.
DMs.
That's a good question, actually. if I was starting on LinkedIn today from zero, like,
I would say if I was like starting from zero or like very little, like you've had an account, maybe you posted a little bit, but like
do
people
I still have
don't
my,
know who you are.
in this hypothetical, do I run like an engineering business that my clients run, or do I run like my own current business?
I don't think for me the strategy is the same, to be honest, despite the business. I would probably like maybe write like 5 to 10 posts quickly just to have something like on there, because people
And
check your
go
profile and then like, who is this person, what they're talking about. So I would maybe drop like at least 5 decent quality,
yeah.
like tofu mofu bofu posts, top
Yeah,
of
I
funnel,
would,
middle of funnel,
yeah,
bottom.
I'd say get a
So
good
like
like
something
7, 8 on there,
personal and
yeah.
then something about what you're doing and then your services, so people can get a quick idea. And then I would forget about posting for like 6 weeks
Go
and just
crazy on connections.
go crazy on connections. Just go crazy on connections, DMs, and some
Hmm.
comments.
I'd
That's
also
it.
say
Drop like
get,
1 hour comments and then just connections, DMs.
I think it's worth getting good like banner, good profile
Yeah.
picture, like high quality stuff as well. Because that's what if you,
Optimize the profile, good picture, good
yeah,
banner, make sure it's clear what you do so people don't
mhm.
have to like figure it
Because
out.
if you don't have many posts on your profile, everything else like your photo, your branding, etc., will be what decides whether someone accepts the connection or applies to the message. Like
Yeah.
if I was going to do it, I'd say like for my specific business now, I'd make 8 to 15 posts, like feed posts, or like yeah, around there. And then make like an article or two as well, and have them in the article section. Just there's something more to click through and look at, and just have information. But I think, and then yeah, just go crazy on connections. Max out those connections every single day.
Max out 20 a day. If you don't have Sales Navigator, 20 a day is roughly the limit, 19, 20. If
when
you
you
do
warm
have
it
Sales
up,
Navigator,
when you
you can
warm it
go
up, you
up
can
to
blast
about
it like
25, 30. Huh?
when you warm it up enough, you can get past like 30 plus a day. But you need to like
Only
warm
with
that up over
sales
like
nav. Only with sales
you,
nav.
you need to warm that up over like premium as well. Premium works as well. But you
Premium
need to
probably is fine
like
as well. Yeah.
you need at
But with
least
free account, about 18, 19, it's like anything over like once you start eating 20, 21, you might get flagged.
or you can just do it in like 2 spurts in the day. Send like 15 in the morning, 15 in the night, and then the as long as
Anyway,
it's not all as long as it's not all at once when it clearly looks like a bot, you'll be fine. Just don't send 100 connections in one sitting and expect not to get banned.
so let's go over to the next topic. Do you want to pick something?
Oh yeah, let's go. Let's
Come
have
on,
a
Joe.
little look. Ooh. Let's talk
You
about
have to go
Spotify.
down to
Let's talk about Spotify, number 3.
right.
Because I think this topic's fascinating. So I remember it was years ago. I remember in my 9 to 5 job actually, like when I first started, the my marketing manager wanted us to do like a marketing report, and I do mine on Spotify just to like show that I wasn't like an idiot. And I thought the Spotify model was so interesting because you would think they're making a fortune, but they barely make any profit when you look at it. Because it,
Let's talk about that. So let's read through this quickly. Spotify just reduced the bar to join its partner program by 80%, dropping requirements from 12 episodes and 10,000 hours consumed to just 3 episodes and 2,000 hours and 1,000 listeners. Creators on third-party hosting platforms like Acast and Libsyn can now also monetize video on Spotify without switching platforms. That's a plus. New sponsorship management tools also let creators swap or schedule host read ads that are rolling out in April, so very soon. However, with that being in mind, and let's compare it to some other platforms. So yes, they slashed the requirements, which is nice, like 2,000 hours, much more achievable, and 1,000 listeners than 10,000 hours. I know, because when I try to monetize YouTube, like getting the hours watched is a tough. So it's going to be same on Spotify. However, they still do 50-50 split on the model. So yes, you can get monetized early, but they take 50%. That's a big chunk.
Yeah, it is a massive chunk, but where it's hard with Spotify because I've had Spotify since like 2016. I've had it my entire life, basically.
Yeah.
Well, adult life anyway. So, and they do such a good job of getting you so attached to the platform so the user doesn't leave. Like things like Spotify Wraps, where you want to see every single year where what you've done the previous year. They've got your playlist. Like I had this playlist on my Spotify from 2016. So they can exploit these creators for 50% because they know that having that they can't get that user base anywhere else. Or is user base the right word? Or audience anywhere else, or organic platform anywhere else. You know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, there's not much of an alternative. I mean, I don't know if like Audible has any monetization program at all, to be honest.
I don't know either. But yeah, I think Spotify is such a weird. It's an interesting business model.
I don't actually use Spotify. I don't like it. I never liked it. I'm a YouTube music kind of guy.
You're like you're a massive contrarian though.
I'm a YouTube Premium. Always been YouTube Premium. I tried Spotify, but it's like never a good experience.
Sounds good, Diego. My guy. Thank you.
Hi, Diego. So yeah, the 50-50, larger cut than YouTube, than Twitch, than OnlyFans, than pretty much anything. So still quite exploitative.
Yeah, it's
So
a
on
model
one
and it's
hand, you gotta give them
exploitative.
props
Yeah.
to lower the bar, but on the other hand, they still take half of your money. Can you disable the Spotify ads and only like use
If
your
you've
own
got
sponsorships? Because that's what most people will be doing, right? They'll
if
be
you've got
inserting their own
what
sponsors.
Spotify do, you only get ads on the free model, but it's very shameless what they do in the free model. You get an ad after like every 2 songs or whatever on the free model. I remember reading an article about it, and I think it's so shameless what they do. But then again, Spotify do in terms of profit, Spotify make nowhere near as much money as you would think they do. Because they can't up their prices, because if they up their prices by like £2 a month, isn't it? You're just gonna go to Apple Music, it's the exact same service. So and artists know that, like the big artists, so they make sure that they get the most amount of money possible. It's such a fascinating business model what they have, because they're kind of trapped. It'll eventually come, like they invested loads in podcasts around the pandemic to try and differentiate their market share, but it hasn't allowed them to up the price anywhere as much as I think they would have wanted to. I've had Spotify since 2016. I will, unless they make the price ridiculous, I'll most likely never get rid of it. Like, there's playlists on there I've had for a decade. I'd rather just keep them.
So here's a topic to discuss on that. For a creator just starting out, is Spotify, YouTube, or Substack the smarter platform investment in 2026? Because I had no idea that Substack does podcast.
Bro, I've told you this so many times, and then he just didn't listen. You mustn't have listened until you looked at it yourself. I've told you this for weeks.
Substack does podcasts.
No, Substack's cool.
Um,
Again, it depends what your goal is with what you're creating, who you're trying to reach, for what platform is best worth investing in. Like, I know a lot of the political commentators in inverted commas, migrated over to Substack compared to X and other platforms.
have they?
But yeah. But
That's
again,
interesting.
I don't know. Give us a hypothetical. What is this creator creating content about?
Sorry?
So I'm trying to answer the question, like what's the best place to start as a new creator? But it depends again what you're trying to create content about and who your audience wants to be, etc.
Yeah, I think it depends on your skills as well and what that content is. For podcast specifically, I would say if it's like a video podcast, I don't know. Like I'm tempted to say YouTube is still the king there, but
I think YouTube plus like short form content across platforms would be kind of where I would lean. Like have the max version on YouTube, but then have a TikTok account that pumps a few shorts out every week.
how is organic discoverability on Spotify?
Bad unless you get put in because every single week they do things like hot releases and new charts of like shows under a year and that sort of stuff. If you get in one of them, it's quite good, but obviously the chances to get in one of them are like obviously way less than 1%.
So if you get lucky, you get lucky. If not, you're done.
If not, you're very unlikely to get organic from Spotify unless you get in one of these charts. And to get in one of these charts, you often need some sort of traction from either another platform or you've got good PR connections and things along those lines. Like I know ironically, a music producer who got one of their artists in like one of the big organic Spotify playlists to get some reach, and that was just because they had a good PR connection. It wasn't anything they did by making good music or marketing themselves especially well. Has had a good connection in there.
Interesting. It's tough, I'll tell you what, nowadays, because like I've been thinking so much about like where to push this newsletter for the show, and there's just so many options nowadays, and each one is like slightly different, but in a way they starting to have similarities. I think the problem are the large creators, because what happens, you've got a bunch of these like very, very, very large creators on like mostly LinkedIn and X. I don't really think because the ones that are on like Instagram or YouTube, they're still like very video based. But LinkedIn and X has pretty much monopolized the text content, right? So what happens is you have like those massive creators that like started on LinkedIn and X, and they just like, I logged into Substack and I instantly seen the same formats, the same kind of pairs, the same hooks, the same people, and they just taking over, and everybody's copying like the same fucking formula on every platform, which might not be the best way, but like it sounds like everybody copying like the same formula of like spam comments, spam follow for follow, use the like short paragraph stuff, and it's very, very tiring to me
Oh, I
personally.
I can't stand that aspect of all of these like text platforms where you need to engage to get attention almost.
But it
But
seems to be okay,
it
let's
makes sense for
actually.
I was just gonna say it makes sense for the platforms because the platforms tell you that you need to engage to get X results. More time is then spent on their platforms, so they make more money.
Exactly. Since we're talking about that, we have topic about that actually on Is it Substack?
Fuck, I'm so tired.
I think
God.
there we go. Substack. Let's talk about this since we're talking about Substack. Topic 19.
Oh, 19. Let's have a read.
So apparently, since they pushed the social media hard, especially in the last kind of 3 to 5 months, Substack has revealed that 32 million new subscribers were gained within the app itself in just the last 3 months of 2025, meaning creators no longer need to rely on external platforms like LinkedIn or Twitter to grow their newsletters. They saying it's notes feature, which is just like create post. That's what it is.
It's like the Twitter for you.
Yeah. It's now the primary growth engine for many writers, and platform is repositioning itself as a video and community hub, not just a newsletter tool, which is interesting. So the topic is Substack's pivot to video and internal discovery means it's becoming just another social media platform with a subscription revenue layer on top. So I think a lot of people were arguing about this when I was researching the platform, because I've not really used it. I mean, I knew what it did, but I've not really used it until I started digging in now. The thing that made Substack special, which was, long form articles, writing, and that community based around that, the community that still had some attention span left, that's fading fast. How do we feel about Substack literally becoming, when I logged into it this week, I felt like it's just Twitter. It's literally just X. I couldn't tell the difference between Twitter and Substack.
Less faceless accounts.
I don't know, because there's a lot of like the publication accounts, right?
I mean, like
With
on the
just like
note,
publication name.
you can figure, you can find. You don't have football Twitter on Substack. Basically, you don't have random accounts with a footballer as their profile picture spouting a load of racist nonsense.
Yeah.
Like that's the main. You know,
Not yet.
Not yet.
Realistically,
it'll probably happen at some point, but you don't have it yet. So that's the major difference between Substack and X, I suppose, because there's people on X who aren't on Substack. So if you want to get away from the people on X, it's a good place to go because it's got similar everywhere else. But I know you don't like X, do you? I remember you saying about that.
I'll tell you what. Like, I thought it's actually better than LinkedIn.
Oh, well, I mean, I actually
thought
disagree.
it's a bit less like. I feel it's a little bit less full of the thought leadership bullshit and
Really, I disagree. I honestly,
but
scrolling business X makes me want to kill myself. Like, it is fucking awful. It is a bunch of fucking nerds saying one-line quotes that they've stole from Alex Hormozy. It is fucking virginal. Yeah. It's so bad.
So I thought it was like a little bit less of that, and more people, at least a little bit more people shared like actual news and stuff, because that's how Twitter started, and I think some people are still like doing that. It used to be just for like news and things, right? And I like that it actually has some sort of algorithm, unlike LinkedIn, which is essentially just engage with those people, then they will see you.
I like the search. One thing I like about X, I like the search feature. If you search a topic, like a recent topic or a relevant topic, you will get
you can actually search topics, but it's not very good for sales because you can't search audience very well unless your target market is just very very wide group of people. So for
What do you mean,
D2C,
son?
like D2C products, it can be good for sales, for marketing. I don't think it would be good for marketing, like for some sort of services most of the time. Unless your business is, I'll help you with marketing.
One
Unless
thing
you like a, marketing agency,
I
or
knew
like a video content creation agency. I don't know.
I knew a guy who ran a business that sold private email infrastructure, like cold email inboxes and stuff like that. And he got most of his leads from X. But
That could work.
that's like the
That could
only
work because you've got
massive.
like a lot of SaaS founders on the cold email stuff. Like, yeah. It's marketing essentially.
And he made a
Anyway,
fortune from that. Like he
we're
got more
we're going
success
a bit
from
off topic.
Oh, let's stay off topic. I enjoy these fucking rambles. It makes the show fun.
We're just going on a rant.
Yeah, that's why I'm here.
But
I'm not gonna be
Substack.
smart this week. I'm not gonna be smart this
So
week.
that's
I'm
the question. Like,
covering.
is Substack turning into X, or is it
I
turning
don't
into
know.
LinkedIn? What the fuck is it?
Probably
It feels
somewhere in
like all of
between.
those platforms. I just feel like all of those platforms are merging into one. They all
No,
like copying each other's features because like X copied Substack stuff. They have like the long articles now, right? So X has long articles now. X has videos. X copied YouTube as well.
I'd say X is
X
also
got
saying
everything.
people use X
LinkedIn's
on
got
their phone.
everything. Substack's got everything. I feel like TikTok is the only different one still. TikTok and
Yeah,
YouTube are the only two like unique platforms now.
no, I disagree, actually. I know you're saying every platform blends into one another, but they aren't quite identical. It's just a different place for where different personality profiles hang out almost.
I don't know because I logged into Substack and I've seen the exact same influencers that I've seen on LinkedIn and on X. Same people instantly in my recommended, like
That's because
same
you, well,
people.
that's because your browser data will see that you've saw their post before and it'll give you what they assume you like straight away. There'll
Yeah,
be
but I see the
hundreds
same
of
people posting the same shit in the same format and using the same growth tactics.
again, that's your data being used, not the platform itself.
Hmm. I don't know. There's like the same when I was on X, the same follow for follow. Like you spam follow on autopilot and then you get a shit ton of followers. That's what people do on LinkedIn. That's what people do on X. And apparently that's what people do on Substack as well now. Apparently that's the newest tactic. You just spam follow and spam comments all day and then you get followers. And then you brag about how many followers you got and you get more followers. It's literally the formula for all the platforms now.
That's existed. That's existed for like take the social media aspect away from it.
To be honest,
The
it's the same on TikTok as well. If you start looking for any growth tactics, people just follow for follow and then they talk about how many followers they got, so they get more followers. And then they start selling personal branding services. It's
okay.
the formula, isn't it? The formula
I
of life.
I think this is more of a I don't want to say it's a you problem, it's like a your data problem. Because ever since I niched my business and no longer need to say any of this. I don't say any of this.
You just
You
don't
know,
spend enough time in the feed anymore.
no, I spend like a lot of time now because everything about my profile screams energy slash engineering. I see energy and engineering stuff in my feed. I don't engage with marketing stuff and all that. Like it's like these platforms, their algorithms are so smart and they use your own personal data to show you something that you've looked at before to try and get you there. It's just I don't think
So
it's It's just the way these albums work these days. My screen time's never been lower. I think we went over this a few weeks ago. Like, I don't doom scroll anymore. Because one, Instagram's full of paid ads anyway, and so is TikTok. Everything's sponsored. Actually, that's a lie. Sometimes I will watch those sponsored posts and see if they're any good. But that, again, that's like a marketing eye. That's not an entertainment eye.
So, for creator considering launching a newsletter in 2026, what would you use? Substack? Beehive is another one.
Depends on your target
or
Depends on your target
email
audience.
list.
Depends on your target audience. Depends how established your business is. Depends if you plan on doing what you're currently doing in 5-10 years time. Like, I was talking to Neve about this the other day. The only competitor I've got in my specific space has been around for like 5-6 years, and they'll most likely be around for another 5-6 years because they use proper old-fashioned tactics. So it's worth them having a proper email list that is sent from email, because they're an established business. Their target audience are older people who use their emails more than social media. But again, if you're a brand new business and you're selling, I don't know, some fashion product or some pre-workout or something like that, I would use TikTok most likely, just to get sheer eyes on the product.
We're talking newsletter.
No, I know, but you use eyes on the product, and then you would use something like an email sequence, and then probably just go straight from the email again. To be honest, for something for D2C, it's always worth going actual email list because of how lucrative good email marketing is. But for something like a service-based business, I'm not a massive fan of newsletters for things like I wouldn't personally want a newsletter for my company. I just wouldn't do it.
Do you think we're doing the right move of going with Substack?
I would go with Substack for Founders Chat personally. Well, I would use Substack and LinkedIn articles, because LinkedIn articles come in SEO now. So I would personally don't like email marketing for something like that I offer. Like, for my very niche marketing in a niche market, I'd much rather invest that time and resource into SEO articles for my website, LinkedIn articles for LinkedIn SEO and AI search, and things along those lines. I think there's better alternatives to newsletters. Newsletters are great if you're D2C or an already established business. If you're trying to sell something, obviously the Founders Chat isn't trying to sell something. It literally is just news. So if it's just news, it can really go anywhere, realistically. You're not trying to sell.
Speaking of which,
we should get Neve on here. She can carry the energy while I sit here and die from my weight cut.
Do you want to join?
I'll see what she puts in the comment. Well, you choose some. Is it my topic next? Let's have a look.
Yeah, pick another topic.
God.
I want to say, actually, if you do want to subscribe to the newsletter, fclive.substack.com. We haven't published anything yet. I've just set it up, but if you want to get summary of all the topics we're talking about, get yourself subbed, and we'll be publishing the first one. I think we'll be going out this Friday.
I like 13. I think because 13 is something I predicted like a while, like on this show, not that long ago. That freelancers now make up 36% of the US workforce.
Do you want to read through that, or am I the?
I don't have energy. When I'm cutting weight, I don't have energy to read. I'm literally a color commentator on this episode while I'm on cover, or try to not die.
Let's roll. So, new research published this week shows the US freelance economy now comprises over 76 million workers. That's 36% of the workforce, and is on track to hit $2 trillion in global economic contribution by end of 2026. A separate report from financial specialist Daniel Tillipman highlights a critical gap. Banks and lenders still cannot properly assess freelance income, denying credit and loans to people with perfectly viable but irregular earnings. This affects everything from mortgages to business loans for the self-employed. So here's the discussion point. Calling yourself a freelancer in 2026 still automatically makes you a second-class citizen when it comes to banking and finances,
It's like that in
even
the
if
UK
you're
as well.
earning more than most full-time employees. How can we fix that? And how do we feel about that? How do you feel about it, Joe? Did you think about, I
Yeah,
mean, I advise people that are not getting a mortgage, but did you think about like getting a mortgage or a
I
business
actually,
loan?
when I looked at, because I looked at mortgages at one point last year, just because my mum was annoying us. She was like, check out a mortgage, it's still the right thing to do. And I was like, Mum, no, it's not. But look, I genuinely felt so anxious looking at it. Like I had so much fear signing 30 years of my life to just one joint. And I was like, this is not going to happen because they just hate they, even though, in my opinion, especially now, it's safer to freelance and be self-employed than get a permanent job without frequent layoffs.
It is.
And also, I don't understand how the banks do this because obviously they're in the back pockets of the government. But the governments have made it much harder to get a full-time job because you now get employee rights on day one. Employers now have to pay a fortune in taxes. So now companies are more like, I hire freelancers every week basically. So companies and businesses want to hire freelancers now because it's less tax burden and you get a higher quality of work. But then the government cripple freelancers when it comes to wanting to get a house and all that sort of stuff. So there's no winning, really. You either get a job and massively cap your earning potential and sign away all your freedom, but you might be able to get a mortgage one day, or you become a freelancer, have all the other benefits of it and all the other negatives from it in terms of not getting a house loan, not having a guaranteed pay. Like we spoke at the start of the show, I made more money in 2 days this week than I have in the previous 6 weeks. Like it's the joys up and down of being self-employed.
Yeah. It's a tough one. Like I remember the same thing when I was like temping when I was younger. I was looking at mortgages. Now, I mean, we're talking a long time ago now.
I would
Like
never
in my
get. I
early
wouldn't get a mortgage. I wouldn't get a mortgage.
early 20s, but I was temping for a long time. For like at one point I was temping for like 2 or 3 years, doing just temp contracts. And like I've not had a single gap between the contracts. Oh, like the longest gap I had was like 3 days between the contracts. So like my work was more stable than most people on permanent jobs. And I said this, like I can find a job anytime, anywhere. Like I'll never be out of work in my life. But to the bank, it was like, oh, you don't have a permanent contract, so therefore you're a risk. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Oh yeah, it's
Like,
ridiculous. It's fucking
I've
ludicrous.
never not had a job for the last 10 years. Like, I always worked. What risk are you talking about?
No, yeah, it's fucking ludicrous. And I don't know what to expect either, because as I said earlier, the UK, US governments, whatever, made it so hard for employers to hire full-time employees. So it's more likely you should become a freelancer. Like, it's more likely it's going to happen. What I did, and they've made it so earnings in a job are extremely capped as well. Not just as harder for employers to hire because all the costs to it.
So,
It's like they want the cake and they want to eat it too. It's basically the vibe I get from all of this.
so here's discussion point also. Should fintech platforms be building purpose-made lending products for the gig economy, and why hasn't anyone cracked this yet? So I've actually seen a bunch of platforms start, to go into that area. I don't remember the exact names, but well, Stripe and PayPal actually started doing this. So I got an offer from Stripe a couple of weeks ago. They just said, "Oh, want to borrow some money?" Because they just seen that I had like consistent income for my coaching, and they're like, "Hey, we see you've got money. Want to borrow some more money?" So these platforms actually starting to doing that. The rates are absolutely horrific. That's the downside of it. But they starting to crack. I think they see the gap, right? It's like, hey, nobody wants to give these guys money. We'll do it. The other platform was like a SaaS lending platform, like a startup lending platform that I've seen. And there are a couple of those already that do actually give you the option to get loans for your startup, but they are basing it on the previous revenue. So you need to show a good run of steady income. If you can show a good run of steady income, so they take like they connect to your Stripe, and if you can show like, okay, we're growing, we've got money coming in, then you can get a loan. But it's still like super niche that I've seen only very, very few products in that space. And unfortunately, most of them still rely on like traditional credit scoring and credit checks. Which obviously suffer if you don't have a full-time employment and a paycheck. So
something that's stuck in the past.
there's a gap in the market. So it will be interesting to see if anybody snatches that.
Again, it's that whole model, especially directly from the bank. It's something that it's like that, not because it's the best way and it's fit for purpose anymore. It's like that because it's been that way for 100 years. Well, since World War II, anyway. It's not like that 'cause it's the best way anymore. It's just some things stay that way because they've always been like that.
So before we go to the next topic, what other alternative funding routes exist for freelancers and solo founders who can't access traditional business loans?
I don't know. This is more
Not many.
This is
Not many.
Self-funding, I think, and that's it.
I do
Realistically,
have to say, like, if you need a little bit of a boost for your business, so I would recommend, if you're a freelancer, if you're a solopreneur, if you're a small business, stay away from loans. I would focus on like just making more money and maybe scaling up as much as possible. The best way to usually do that is double down on your outreach and your pipeline, or raise prices. That's the fastest way to making more money. Just start charging more if you're not already at the top of your rates. These are like the quickest solutions to making money. It's getting money, just make more money.
I would say
Alternatively, I would consider, let me just finish. Alternatively, I would consider like invoice loans. A lot of people don't know about this. You can get what are called invoice loans. So if you have a bunch of contracts as a freelancer, like, so this is common for you, Joe, right? You do mostly like ongoing contracts with people. I know you don't lock in people anymore, but if you can show that, okay, this client's been with you for 3 months and you've got a bunch of outstanding invoices that you're about to cash in over the next few months, you can get invoice loan. So basically they will just give you the money in advance or part of the money in advance. So if you have like 6 outstanding invoices to cash in even in the next month or two, you can get that money up front, and then you just give them a percentage and repay them slowly.
God, I'm starting to die
That's
now.
one easy way, and these are usually with fairly good terms. They don't charge a lot, but that's only for like a short-term expansion. It's not really like a proper long-term big loan. Anyway, sorry I cut you off. What's your take on this?
I forgot what I was going to say. I'm just the way it starting to hit is now. I've spoke for an hour. I think my last minute energy is now gone. I think I was going to say something like I would, if I needed customers in the space of like say 2 weeks just to get income, I would create like a really cheap entry level niche offer and just approach that niche super quickly. Because then assuming the entry level offer then leads into the higher ticket one, if you smash the entry level one, you get the higher ticket likely in a month or 5 weeks later, and it's easy to do outreach with a low ticket risk averse offer.
I think it works for some people, but it depends on what you do and what you offer. Because
It's
you
made
can
my
sometimes
job so much
cannibalize your
easier.
sales as well. If you go too low, you can cannibalize your mid or high ticket sales. Because people might think, oh, let me just go for the, why should I pay 5 grand if I can pay a grand? They
No,
just
but
go with that, right?
like ever since I made my I call it the market presence build, like the low ticket risk averse offer, it's made my lead gen so much easier because like my target audience are really risk averse, so they
It
say
depends on the rest of
really,
your funnel, obviously, right? In the market.
I think that's the best way, like right now. Like it's made my life so much easier. It's gotten so many like because especially my target audience are really risk averse. To see a low ticket option like this, and they're like, well, even if it doesn't work, it's worth a go. And also when it does work, they're very very willing to up the investment and scale it from there. I saw actually, I know it's not a news, I know it's not a topic on the doc, but I saw a really good article the other day. It was basically that the freemium model, where there's a free tier and a paid tier, that's becoming less effective. And what's actually working is you give them premium features, like the user premium features, for like 7 days or 14 days, and then remove all the premium features. Then it's just left the free version after experiencing premium, and that's increased conversions by something like 30% for the examples they use in that article. And that was a really good read. I'll try and find the article.
I hate that tactic.
I remember liking the article on X. So you give your opinion on it, while I'll try and find the exact numbers for you.
Which one are you talking about?
The one I just mentioned about the model that works is starting with premium features, then removing it, and that's how it increases conversion.
Oh, you want me to find another topic?
No, I'll give your opinion on that top, what I just said, while I find the actual statistics. Because I remember liking the article on X.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people like push the premium trial. It's very popular with like mobile apps. Anything that's sold on mobile usually pushes you very heavily with dark patterns. So what dark patterns are, for those who don't know, is like luring people into very specific choices, like clicking something, and they make clicking something else very, very difficult or nearly impossible for most people. So I've seen people really pushing into those premium trials that way. So even if there is a free version available, they will like do everything they can and make the UI so pushy so that almost everybody goes into that free trial rather than a free version. And then they usually just charge people right away. Like you said, they take away the features, the hard paywall it. So that's been going on for a while. I don't like it personally.
I found the article now.
Yeah, I don't like it personally. I think it's just a shit tactic when you try to make the user experience miserable. I know it's one of the best ways to get money out of people, but I don't like it. That's why I said like Founders Tree, we're not gonna have free tier, it's gonna be premium only, and there's no like you get everything, you get the full experience. That's
So
it.
why wouldn't you try like a 7 day? So actually, I'll say the numbers. So the model that I spoke about before, as a free tier and a paid tier, that the
Yeah.
industry where you get the free tier, you get to use that, and it's your choice to upgrade. That has a 2% conversion rate, but the rate where it's you sign in, you instantly get premium features for X period of time, say 7 days, and after those 7 days, you then just left for the free model. That's a little bit crap. That has a 7% conversion rate. So it's 5% better.
But it's still with free, and I don't want free.
You don't want free, but it would definitely be better for it would definitely be better for the business as a whole. 1,000,000%.
It wouldn't if you allow people to join for free.
I disagree. I think refusing to have a premium tier in your specific example is just because you hate premium tiers, but you're being detrimental to your business because
No,
that's
I like
the.
enshittification of features. But for Founders Tree, I don't think a free
So why wouldn't you give a seven
option.
day
I don't
free
think a
trial?
free would work, right? Because the moment you allow people to join for free, you allow everybody to join.
So what about a 7 day free trial? What's wrong with that?
I would rather give people like a 30-day money back thing. If you don't feel you got anything. If you don't like it, you get your money back. That's fine.
But isn't that a lot more complicated than just a 7 day free trial? Like
Yeah, because then
I'm
again,
way
if
more, I'm
people
way
join
more
for free,
likely,
people don't value it that much.
I'm way
And
more likely personally to sign up for a 7 day free trial than a money back guarantee thing. 100%.
yeah, at
I'm just,
some
I'm
point
just
later,
gonna.
I might do like a cheap trial. So maybe you can try for 7 days at a discount. I would consider that. But never for free.
I think you're making I think you're making a big mistake there personally, but that's my opinion.
A lot of similar products do that. They all in fact do it. They don't have free. So
I'm saying a 7 day free trial. You only have premium options, but a 7 day free trial of those premium options. And then if you're not interested, your account just gets frozen. I think that just makes a lot more sense personally.
it just lowers the quality for everyone else.
But you
That's the
need
problem.
users.
Yeah. Next topic. Since we talked about Substack, I wanna talk about this actually because this is interesting. Substack is now piloting a native advertising program. So obviously I haven't been invited because I'm a new user. Connecting brands with newsletters in a broker model. Yeah, this follows the platform reaching 5 million paid subscriptions and a valuation of 1.1 billion for newsletters. So there we go. For newsletters with 75,000 subscribers or more, a single ad placement could fetch $20,000. The rollout is being kept to a small group of newsletters and brands initially, with a broader access expected later in 2026. So this is basically YouTube partner program for newsletters. So this is funny topic we have here. A Substack co-founder once said, ad models break everybody's brains. But now that they're at 800 million valuation, apparently their brain is doing just fine. But yeah, so they're building ad model like Spotify, like YouTube into Substack.
Okay, shock. It's always going to happen.
Interesting when that's gonna go. And will you be able to? I think if you're able to control it, to some extent in terms of like which brands you want to advertise and where you place the advertisement in your newsletter. I think it's great. It makes it easy because not everybody is it just levels out the playing field, right? Because we know the big players have been doing it for ages, but it is actually quite a lot of work and requires quite a lot of knowledge to secure a paid sponsor. Like most large creators have full teams, full business development teams dedicated to just finding sponsors. And this like removes that problem, right? But then again, will they take a big cut as well of it? How much will the creators actually get? And what will be the entry criteria? These are some interesting points. What are your thoughts on this?
I don't know. My energy's gone, to be honest. I think I only had an hour, not an hour and a half. Come on, wrap this up. I think my weight cuts finally just killed us off. I don't have enough energy to keep talking. I mean, it's exactly what other platforms have done. So what's going to happen is on Substacks will happen on other platforms. The platforms will make more money. The creators will get a snippet of it. They'll be happy because it's another revenue stream, even though it might be slightly exploitative and harder for new creators to get on there. It's the same model we've seen on other platforms.
And you know what's funny, since we're talking about it? So yeah, for growing newsletter creator, is a brand deal through Substack system better or worse than managing your own sponsor relationships? That's what I'm curious to see. So we shall find out in the next few months. Hopefully that rolls out and see what the criteria is to actually get on it. Will they have something like Spotify where you need certain level of subscribers? And reads, it's a bit different for I'll tell you what, it's a bit different for like newsletters because people can game the system, right? I don't know how they're gonna track. Can they already track like how much time people spend actually reading it?
I think so.
Because it would be so easy to just bot this with follow for follow, and you might have 10,000 subscribers, but nobody actually reads the bloody thing. So how are they going to prevent that? That's tough. But where I was going with this is, you know what's the most hilarious thing?
What?
X has monetization, YouTube's got monetization, Substack is getting monetization, Instagram's got monetization, Facebook's got monetization, TikTok had monetization for ages. LinkedIn is the only platform without fucking monetization, and it's charging you the most from all of them.
Yeah.
So when will people realize that LinkedIn is not a creator platform? It's the only platform without creator monetization on it.
Yeah, in fairness, for LinkedIn, like from the company marketing perspective, they've done quite a good job at presenting themselves as not a creator platform, even though it is in some aspects. It'll still always be mainly known as a business platform and a job and a glorified job board in some way.
Yeah.
It's genius marketing and PR from their own perspective. They make a fortune from sales and having premium and all that sort of stuff. It's just a better
They
business
do
model.
actually. We've got, if you look at our topic number 12, I don't want to fully go into it, but we can briefly read it. LinkedIn hits 20 billion in annual revenue. LinkedIn has officially hit over 20 billion in annual revenue, with quarterly revenue up 11% to over 5 billion in the last quarter, according to latest earnings. Satya Nadella highlighted that paid video ads on the platform grew 30% year over year. This growth coincides with fundamental shift. Personal profiles now dominate 60%, 5% of the content in user feeds. Yeah, we've talked about that already. Yeah, so people are just paying for ads, video ads specifically.
I'm going to end that there because I'm dying here, bro. I can't give any more personality. I only had an hour's good energy. The past 10 minutes, I've just sat here, nothing in my brain because I can't have any more water today.
No? You want to pick
done.
one last topic to finish off? You pick one, Joe. One last, and then we go.
Bro, this is like slave labor. You're keeping me here. Use it. Go 18 then. Why not? What? So burnout is evolving.
AI. Runway, the AI video generation startup, has closed 315 million Series E at roughly 860 million valuation, backed by obviously Nvidia, Adobe, General Atlantic, and Fidelity. Runway's tools allow users to now generate, edit, and transform video using text prompts. Their capabilities that would have required full production team just a couple of years ago. For small businesses and creators, this signals that professional quality video is rapidly becoming a commodity accessible to anyone with a subscription. That's a hot take. AI video tools will commoditize production, but human taste and creative direction will become more valuable, not less. The people who know what to make still beat the machines. Do they?
I think for videography and video production, yes. I'm not talking like talking head style videos. I'm talking like proper storyboarded marketing material that you can then repurpose in 1,000 different ways. I think that is where humans will excel, and that is where especially high quality B2B stuff will go. I think it's going to go in two ways. I think B2B is going to go higher quality and B2C is going to go more raw. Like, I'm not saying like awful camera, awful video production, but I'm talking like a guy in a normal room without 50 cuts a second just talking with some cool things going on. I think that is what B2C's direction B2C is going to go. But B2B, I think it'll become super high quality storyboarded 5 minutes, and you repurpose those 5 minutes in 1,000 different ways.
I'll tell you what, I've seen that actually in B2C as well. So when was it? Oh yeah, in one of the creator groups I'm in, who's doing like, I think they're doing like travel videos or something.
Mm-hmm.
They've actually been using like AI avatars and AI B-roll to make videos, and I was impressed. I was actually impressed. Like most people, I can still tell, like, but most people wouldn't notice it's actually all AI generated video.
What sort of video was it?
So it was like, like a talking head with B-roll. But you would also have like the avatar in on like green screen style videos, when you have like person talking in the corner and showing B-roll and just talking about stuff, but the actual avatar, like the person, that was AI generated, but you wouldn't notice.
Mm-hmm.
So it was actually like really, really high quality. Obviously, they've put a plenty of work into editing and doing it properly and like cutting the background and using like a combination of tools. So it's not like oh yeah, one click, here's a script, generate me this. But to be honest, it might be next year. I wouldn't be surprised if they can just do that with one tool and just like paste the script and it just does it. So it's scary because if it takes over the proper video, I mean, you still need to know how to write a good script and edit well. So you need to still like know good storytelling to keep people glued to the screen. But the actual video generation side is becoming like scarily good. Which opens up a lot of options for businesses as well.
Cool. Anyway, that's the show, guys. Thanks for
You're
watching.
done, isn't it? You're done.
I've been done for 15 minutes. I had an hour's worth of energy left for the day. I can't be camera facing anymore. My body needs, and my body isn't allowed any more food or water. I just need to, shut off from the world, not talk to
I
anyone.
also wanted to talk about YouTube.
Well, talk about it by yourself. I'll leave, and you can talk about it by yourself if you really want to.
I will talk about it. I will add it to the newsletter, which you guys can subscribe to.
All right, cool. Right, it was fun. Catch you later.
Thanks so much, guys, for watching. As always, we're here next week, every Wednesday, 3 p.m. Central Europe time. Drop us a follow or join us on stage as always. Until next time. Bye. Oh, where's the button?